Hello friends, my name is Stephanie Canada. Yes, just like the country, and no, I don't live there. In today's video, what I'm going to be doing is a highly requested video. No, seriously, I've never had a poll get more votes than this one. So today what we're going to be delving into is looking at the very oldest pieces that I have in my collection. And that is the Weldons Ladies Journal from 1885 and 1886. Come on, Marty, let's go! Now there are a couple things I want to address before we get started, and I promise I won't take too long. Number one, I'm a vintage pattern seller. Patterns didn't really heavily exist in 1885, so this is not my area of expertise. I'm not going to know all the nitty-gritty details of the lines that we're looking at. However, I am going to do my best to point out the details that I find really interesting and what intrigues me. So that's really what you're going to get the takeaway. This isn't going to be a historical delve. Number two, these aren't for sale. These are just for enjoyment purposes only. And number three, I have thoroughly washed and dried my hands, and I will also have a towel to blot off the oil because I am an oily human, because I don't want to get any more oils onto this paper than are already necessary. Now before you get really excited, this paper has already gotten wet, is a little mildewy, and is very fragile. So I understand how to work with this type of paper because I've been doing it for literal years. Now, is it an archival process? Should I be wearing white gloves? Probably. Am I going to? No, because then I cannot feel if I am putting too much pressure on the paper as I turn it. Because that absolutely will equal it tearing, which is not what we're going for here. Also, I have no coffee because we don't put coffee near things that are almost 150 years old. All right, let's get into it. Now looking at the front cover, there's a couple things we notice. Number one, it's real sad because it's got here where like a little bit of mildew has eaten away from it. You've got really kind of torn and sad edges, but this isn't necessarily shocking considering the fact that I found it in the attic of a Florida garage. So the fact that it even still exists is kind of impressive. Now, along the top here, what it says is a cutout paper pattern of the Montpellier dolman, also an extra supplement of winter mantles presented with this number. So it sounds like there should be 2 paper patterns in this, but we will have to see as we go along if any of them are still inside. And this one also is from November 2nd, 1885. So this magazine actually would have worked perfectly for Marty and Doc to prepare for their jump back in time in Back to the Future 3. Well, 2 into 3. Now it does go over the contents here on the front, but let's be real, we all want to see what's inside. Now what we're seeing when we first open it up is a page full of ads here on the left-hand side, and actually kind of just another page of ads on the right-hand side. So are we shocked that there's ads in a magazine? No, I would certainly hope not, because, well, that's primarily what they are. And also why they can't be sent media mail. Fun fact. We have an ad for Lansdale Brothers on Mortimer Street, Regent Street, near Oxford Street. That's helpful. Now, one thing I do want to call out here is that this actually is an English printed magazine, and so I am actually not going to have a whole lot of frame of reference for most of this because I have never actually been to England. I've been to Ireland, but I've never actually been to England. So, pardon me if there's a little bit of extra confusion through this. Then you can see up here there's a new patent rubber-lined thimble. Oh, we have pearl dentures from Rowland's Odonto. And then while these lovely ladies are sitting over here, what these are actually for is the new costumes being brought out by Nicholson's, and also for the fabrics that are being used to make them. And then a big old ad for a Wilcox & Gibbs automatic silent sewing machine. Silent sewing machine. Really? Okay. Then as we turn the page, we are going to see, this is one of my favorites. You can see here the patent dress stand, where it actually has the detachable bustle right along here that you can take off or you can put back on. Right? Or is it just in it?
No.
And as you can see here, this is just more ads talking about clear complexions. And as we turn on to page 4, you can see here that we're finally starting to get into the beginning of the actual magazine. But not first without mentioning the Crepe Imperial for morning wear. From Jay's London General Morning Warehouse. Not gonna lie, sounds like my kind of place. I realize you may not know this about me, but I'm a little on the morbid side. It's just how I am. Born to the day before Halloween. I think that pretty much explains it. Followed by a gigantic ad for the Singer sewing machine. And then what's interesting here is you actually have the Grand Duchess Opera Company with Sir Julius Benedict. Oh my gosh. Look at her costume. Wow, look at all that detail. But what this little pamphlet is in here, it's like a playbill, but not quite a playbill because you're not actually at the opera. So I guess they just inserted it here because it's actually attached. Like this is not something, because like you can see there, it's glued to the page. This came with this magazine. So I guess this was the advertisement with everyone that was in the opera that you should go to the opera. I mean, I think you should go to the opera because I work in opera, but that's just me. All right, moving on to the very first page, finally. We have volume 7, number 77. And what we're seeing here is 3 very detailed gowns. Now, at this time, I can't really tell if this is a lobster bustle or just a standard bustle, but either way, these ladies have definitely got that lovely 90-degree situation happening. Followed with beautiful jackets. You have a crossover button here, and she's got a whole lot of drape at the front. If that is pleating, holy accordion, Batman. That's amazing. And the lady over here is the only one we'll get the proper backside view of. With a little bit of, you can see her mantle just drops along that side, and then the underskirt is there. And apparently all the patterns that you could order to go with this magazine, well, at least on this page, are 1 shilling. Turning on to our next page. Wow, look at her jacket. Oh, there's a shawl situation happening there. But with that crazy drape, that looks like 2 different pieces made out of the same fabric. And then on the opposite page, we have this lovely lady here with a very pleated front skirt. And you can see there's like a little bow bustle situation happening in the back. And she has a very high neckline. And then here we have the Claudine toilette, which you have a very structured jacket, fully buttoned up the front, as well as it looks like the jacket extends back over that right angle bustle. And then again, more, this looks, yeah, that's still probably pleating back there in the back, and then a draped front. That is gorgeous. And then a very large Pears soap ad, followed by some more ads where we're discussing the London Glove Company, followed by underclothings and baby linen. Linen, baby linen. Then we have some dressmaking stands here, which do they fold up? Holy frijoles, no way. No, that's for this one, okay. And then of course you could also, acquiring your own corset, which we have here. The ideal corset, unequaled in the world, for beautifying thin busts. And then, of course, we cannot ignore the very amazing page of hats. Where we aren't starting to see the massive feathers yet, but those are coming in the early 1900s. And next up, we have some children's fashions and novelties. Let's go ahead and lace our tiny human. Also, we don't really know how to draw children yet. They still just look like miniature adults, but with odd proportions. And they're very trunk-like through here. And even though, I want to like this, it looks like the whole aspect is skewed. So without having this pattern around, I don't actually know what that would look like, but it looks odd is the best way to describe it. But what I find really entertaining is that they left the girls' bottoms free, but then they still put them in a bustle. I'm trying to imagine wrestling my 6-year-old into a bustle, and I can't say that it would end well for either of us. And then over here on the far page, we have an important notice to our readers that the Christmas episode will be a double number, followed by all types of beautiful fashions over here. These are labeled as the Beckham and the Schubert costumes. All the drapery on this is just delicious. Here we have number 91, which is going to be the promenade costume. Which again, so much fabric in those drapes, but they look just spectacular. And plus her very tall little hat you got going on there. And then another page of just ridiculous ads. And then on the back here, we have a extraordinary, No, there's 4 ads through here. One for... potted meats. Has terrible flashbacks to the lime jello. Bouquet bloom that looks like a perfume? No, it says it beautifies the complexion. Okay, sure. Wright's coal tar soap. And then down here for some silk poplin as well. And what I love over here is that we're actually getting a look at a morning costume, a proper morning costume pattern. This one is number 92, and the flat pattern again would have been 1 shilling. But just how beautifully appropriate this is. I don't know whether that's appropriate to say or not, but I think it's really beautiful. Then on the following page, we're looking at the Glenavon costume, which has some front draping happening through here, followed quickly by some really small, possibly pleats through here, a flat panel that matches the accent panel through the bodice, and then draping across the back of the bustle again. Here we have another costume on the following page. It's number 94. I apologize, I cannot actually read what it says. But again, we have that same really high neckline, the beautiful draping through here, but this looks to be like more of a flat panel right through the front of the bottom skirt layer. And then we have how to knit useful garments. So in this knitted section, what they're giving you is a lady's ribbed jacket bodice, a child's knitted hood or bonnet, and a gentleman's striped sock. Oh, or a gentleman's plain sock. Well, there you go. So you have 2 options of socks. And what I can do, actually, I am going to go ahead and try and get some very clear, hopefully scans of this, because this center part feels strong enough to scan. And I'll actually go ahead and link those up on my Ko-Fi page. So if you do want to head on over, you can tip me for them or you can just try them yourself. But I will try and get you guys scans and put them over there. And then on the far side, what we're really looking at is just some more ads, because you can't get away from ads. And this is for Spearman's Devon Serges and Sinclair's Cold Water Soap. Oh, now this is the money shot. Look at this. Extra supplement to Weldons Ladies Journal. Wow, look at that. Now, a lot of the times when you see things that have been framed that look like this, they've unfortunately ripped apart the magazine and framed just this page. And sometimes they'll frame the other pages as well, and sometimes they just throw them out. Dear God, please don't do that. But I love when you can find things that are complete and have this middle section available. So this just shows you all of the possible options. Wow, these are just amazing. Oh my God. So then what we have here is we have another page of just ads. The one that brings my attention, though, is the Madame Bayard's improved stays for children. So while they would notate it as a corset for the ladies, for the children, it would still be called a stay. I find that really interesting. And the age range here is from 2 years to 12 years. So imagine trying to fit a child into a stay every single day. My child's already hard enough to get dressed in the day. And then over here, what it looks like is we actually have some more knitting patterns. So we are seeing a leaf and trellis pattern. You've got a baby plain knit boot and a baby's glove with a long wristlet. Then here what we're seeing on the next page is 4 more costumes with some of the most delicious draping. Even the artistry in these catalogs is just beyond compare, because I just love how they illustrate the fabric. I almost feel like I can reach out and touch it. I just love that. And I don't know what you are. You don't belong here. Okay. So this is a loose page from June 1st of 1886, which is not my other magazine. So this doesn't even go to this doesn't even go. But let's see what it is. Oh, okay. Remember how I said they would rip out those pages? This is what I mean. So here from June 1st, 1886. Wow, look at the parasols, the fichu, the bonnet. Oh my gosh. That's just amazing. I'm just floored. I didn't realize this wasn't part of this magazine. So I'm gonna pull it aside so it can go with, I mean, it'll still go together. I won't separate these, but I'm just gonna not put it inside this magazine. Oh, and on the back, we have a baby's knitted vest in a gentleman's cardigan or jacket. And it does look like these instructions are actually complete, so these will just be added to my Ko-Fi page. For those of you that are knitters, which is not me, in case you're curious. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, there is actually back to November 2nd of 1885. We are now looking at underclothings here, which is actually a really interesting take into it because while a lot of the patterns you will see will be for the exterior garments, it's not always for the interior garments. So you can see here all the different kinds of undergarments that would have gone. Now these aren't necessarily ones that you can make, but they are ones that are available. Oh, so cool. Turning onto the next page, we have again just more ads with the, are these all baby prams or like toddler or strollers basically? Holy cow, I think they are. That's ridiculous. Oh my gosh, I love it. Then over on the far page, we've got number 99, the Glen Nolden. The Glen Nolden costume. Say that 3 times fast. And this one actually has a much sleeker line than some of the ones we've seen before, except for the very gigantic drape that leads up to the back of the bustle. And here, oh man, that's so pretty. Now this one isn't illustrated as well, but I get what they're going for. So this is all a flat, no, this is a pleated front that drapes into the flat of the bodice. So much fabric. The Gaythorne costume, because I think that's an O that just got wet and disappeared. Then over here, we've just got some more ads, and this is actually a fabric. I will take both of them. Thank you. All right, turning the page, we have, again, more ads. Use hot bitters is the first thing that pops out there. Oh, look at the old sewing machine. Ah, J. Wood sewing machine, hand crank. Then on the far side, we have got, oh, our numbers have jumped substantially. We're up to number 3057, the Lismore costume. Again, with more of that intense pleated front into the gathered that would then drape down the back. Possibly 2 pieces or 1. Without seeing the pattern, I won't really be able to tell. If you know more, please let us know down in the comments. Back to the smaller numbers, so we're back to number 100, the Carlsberg Toilette. Oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. All the draping is just amazing in these. Then we have the new vertical feed sewing machine ad over on the far side. Now, moving on. We've got yet more advertisements, this time for an Atlas lock stitch sewing machine and Neve's Food. And then on the countering page, right above the cute little Cinderella dances, we've got number 101, the Peralto Dolman. Dolman. Nah. Which again just sort of showcases the beautiful pleating toward the back and the nice suede back and that lovely like right angle situation that was going on. And then, y'all, it has the pattern. 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 I guess we have 2 choices, maybe? No. This is number 3032, which is going to be the Goldaline, gold guideline? I don't know. The words are gone. Coat for a child. But that says that that is issued with the Weldon's Bazaar of Children's Fashion, which is not this episode. Magazine. You knew what I meant. So what we actually get right here is the Montpellier Dolman. Wow. Okay. So hopefully this pattern right here will be the collar, the back, the front with a like fisheye dart. Although it's more intense than that. The gore for the front and the cape.
A few moments later.
But this is actually, so this is complete. Huzzah! But anyway, that's really, really exciting that this one actually has the pattern. Yes! And it makes some portion of this. Don't know exactly, let's see. Cape is probably that whole swingy thing there. Plus the back, which is probably what we're not really seeing. And then front, I'm going to guess it drapes all the way down, so this would be that as well. And then, of course, on the other side, you have the electropathic battery belt. For rheumatism, indigestion, lumbago, sciatica, paralysis, epilepsy, constipation, nervous debility, also impaired vitality, defective organic action, and hosts of testimonials. Hosts, I'm sure. I believe that never. Then just a very large article about a great success. Some theories on courtship and matrimony. That's for another video. And then on the back we've got some wonderful velveteen ads, some Fry's pure concentrated soluble cocoa, and dress fabrics, which those would be amazing if those had lasted. And then you can see here on the back, sadly, it's really sad, but ladies should send lion trimmings. Another bustled bust form here on the back. Corsets with diagonal seams. Ooh, look at that. That's gorgeous. All right, well, that is 1885. And now we're going to go back to the future, not that much though, into 1886 with our next one. And these are the only two we're doing today, also because they're the only two that I own that are that old. And you can see the style of the front has changed just a little, not too drastically, but just a little bit through here. I don't actually see the table of contents like I did on the previous one. But it does say at the top, cutout paper pattern of the Osborne mantle is presented with this number from September 1st of 1886. So maybe we have a paper pattern in here too? That'd be great. And then opening her up here, we can see, again, more ads. But there's just something about these lines. So you have a ladies' tailor ad, sanitary soap powder, Nicholson's new costume, another Wilcox and Gibbs automatic silent sewing machine ad. That same patent dress stand. You can see actually how much the pressing has changed. Like this seems like a really excellent black, whereas some, even just over here, like you can see some of the black has worn away. So I have to wonder if it all sort of looked like this lovely dark pressing when you first came out, as opposed to this lighter, hey, I've been watered on look through the ages. All right, and then here we go. So we also still have another very large morning ad right across from the very first page. But this time we do actually see here September 1st. This is where we're going to see the table of contents, unlike the front page where it was last time. So then the first thing that we're seeing is number 65 and 66. So I guess they would have restarted the numbering every single year. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense as to why, but I guess every year they would have just started a whole new batch right at one. And as I don't have anything from January, I can't confirm or deny that. But what we have is 65 and 66 autumn mantle, which is going to be probably this outer jacket situation through here. And again, we're still seeing that very hard straight down and back, the right angle bust situation. Bustle, right angle bustle. Turning the page, oh my goodness, look at those. Is that studded? I mean, if it's not, it could be. That would be amazing. If this was a studded jacket, trim, cuffs, and right along the hemline. Oh my gosh. This is called the Strathmere costume, number 67. And right over here next to it, we have a striped number, which is number 68, which is the home toilette. And you can really sort of tell a difference. Like this one, she's clearly going somewhere with her umbrella walking stick and her hat. And whereas here, you can tell she's indoors, no hat, fan in hand. Notes on my rambles. That should be a serious name for me because that's all I tend to do. Notes on my rambles. Turning the page, you can see number 69, the Heloise toilette. Wow, that's gorgeous. I mean, you can tell they were over accentuating the waistlines or padding out her front because these diagrams are not standard for a typical woman of the time. If you go back and actually look at the extant garments, you can tell that these were used, but they were padded here or padded back here so as to make the waist look smaller, not necessarily, oh, she's got a 21-inch waist. Go to Bernadette or Abby, or they all have videos on this particular topic that I am not educated enough to speak on, but I do know that is an exaggeration, friends. That's why it's a drawing. And then over here, you can get some really fabulous hats. Wow, those are just great. Again, with the over-accentuated drawing and the lips, interesting lips. That's all. And you can see we've got some ribbon trim here, and you're starting to see, again, like there are some feathers in this time frame, but not the giant plumes that we see later. Oh, wow. Costumes de voyage. Oh, my goodness. Look at this sailor collar through here with a slight opening at the front. The draping is amazing on all of these. But what's really awesome is this lady right here. You can tell from this drawing that she's got a sash or some type of bag or something is happening right across here that is not the costume. But you can see here she's got this huge double-breasted buttons that are then mimicked also on the underskirt through here. That's fantastic. Then over on the opposite page, we have the Walton and the Skegness costumes. And again, we're sort of seeing that the line drawing of children aren't really ideal. It's kind of creepy. It's like a very miniature full-grown adult. But I do love her drapery in the front along with the soft pleats and the even trim along the front. Oh, it's so pretty. And then he looks to be in his little sailor outfit with hat and a little pleated skirt. And then turning the page, wow. The Branksmere costume, which has a fully pleated underskirt and then a flat panel front, possibly with just like, that's just the lines of the way of the fabric. It looks like it's just the lines of the fabric there on the front. And then you can see the pleats along the back. Then we do get some more ads over on this side, Sinclair's cold water soap. And then on the far side, so this time we have the London Glove Company, but without all the diagrams. So they must have paid a slight bit less this go around. Some more dress forms, some more corsets that are actually labeled corset patented. And then over here we have 3249, the Bramwell costume with like this gradient polka dot that ends in like a border print of a large polka dot along the bottom. That's gorgeous. We turn the page here and we're going to see the eyelet wrap, which has buttons all the way down the front. And you can see a heavily pleated underskirt through here. And you can also see here, like she's got that little half cape. And then over here, the Claxton costume, which is almost explorer-y. Got a very fitted bodice, very light drape on the front, and there is pleats here along the side, but we're not seeing anything super heavy duty in this one, as opposed to some of the other fully draped ones.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Where was I? Turn the page. And knitting. Oh no, sorry. How to crochet useful articles. What is useful? A cozy antimacassara? Is that code for a chair cover? I don't know, honestly. Boy's cap with fluted crown and tufted band, which is that. Oh, that's cute. Over here we have knitted overalls for baby. Look at the little feet, so cute. And then the Clarence border, which is going to be that one. And then we have the Eastbourne wrap, number 3260. Again, we see like a striped fabric through here. Very covered arms, so not too much is happening there. Very tall hat. Fully buttoned front, pleated back, and some more ads. Moving on to number 77, the Cleethorpe. That's how I think that's pronounced. The Cleethorpe costume. I actually really enjoy this. I love this crossover right on the front and the very nice pleating and the tucks through the front panel. Plus you can never go wrong with a couple of good bows. And you can see here we're back to more of the, it's not quite as overly draped as some of the ones we've previously seen, but it still has beautiful draping on the front and a plenty of bustle behind. Oh, now look at that. So here we have some, they're calling them bodices at this point. I'm going to try and gently open that out so we can see her there. There she is. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. So we have number 3239, 3259, and 3240. They're labeled the New Sailor Blouse, Tennis Coat, and Heathcliff Corsage. I have played tennis. I would not want to play tennis in that jacket. No, thank you. And then over here we see just some more ads. We have white Vaseline, Queen's Jubilee brooch. Oh, that's cool. And then here you can sort of see we've got some more ads on this side here. And then To ladies who desire perfect fitting garments, Vorwerk's patent skirt and dress band. Round woven in one piece with lining and buttonholes, fits perfectly around the hips and is easily applied to any waist. So I wonder if this was a compression garment or if it was a way to alter the actual garment by just pinning it onto that band, but the band would then keep it like the same color as the attire that you had on. That's interesting. And then over here, we have it looks like another traveling lady. Number 3262, the something or other wrap, because I cannot tell what that says. But either way, you can see here that it's, again, more of like a traveling look, because you can see it's a very flat panel front, lots of pleating from the underskirt, possibly petticoat, and then you've got some just lovely draping toward the back there, and then just a little extra in case the bustle wasn't enough. Oh, pretty. Again, I cannot read 3261. Is that the same thing? No, this is 3262. It's 3261. But it looks here like her sleeves, like this jacket might have a sleeve extension that goes around. Either that or the line where her arm was drawn has been washed away with time. Can't tell which one it is. I turn the page again to discover a beautiful complexion with Beetham's glycerin and cucumber. Then over here on the side we have number 78, velvet mantelette. Holy pleating. Wow, that is a lot. Plus it looks like there's some type of ruffle band along the bottom here, and then you can just see this drapery with the stripes really accenting, like this is the flat panel and this is all the crosswise drape. Oh, it's so good. And here oh. Well, this is where the pattern should have been. Wah, wah. I mean, it's really amazing that we even found one pattern with this, let alone if I would have gotten lucky and found two, so. Perspective. But before we get over there, here we have a colored plate of which above are reductions. Oh, these were some of the ones you'd see in the Weldon's Illustrated Dressmaker, which was a separate book made by the same company. And then over on the side, number 3258, Dear Sweet Moses, that is so cute. Look at that. You have the pleated skirt, and I don't see the bustle on her. Like, at least from this drawing. I don't see any type of structured undergarments, except obviously the stays that we saw earlier in one of the episodes, one of the ads. But you can see here she's got a cute little puff sleeve, a nice sailor collar, but goodness gracious, look, that undergarment goes all the way to her neck. I'll make sure I put a clearer picture of it here so that you can kind of really feel for what you're looking at. I cannot press this flat because this thing is about to shatter into 14 pieces, and I'm not going to do that. Cookery recipe, macaroni with cheese. No! Not that I was looking for more recipes to terrify me to the bottom of my soul, but maybe this should be the next one. Okay. And then on the back, we just have more health and beauty, varieties of hair, which is always lovely. And then unfortunately you can see here, like, as much as I enjoy these back ads, you can tell this is the part that got the most distress. So it's just sort of I can't even flatten that out. It'll totally shatter. But you can kind of get a feel of what we're looking at here. In case you wanted some Beecham's pills, goodness gracious, they have enough ads for it. Crippled for life through having been poisoned by a thimble? What? That can't be real. No. All right. Guess I gotta go down that rabbit hole now. And then, very carefully, because this back page is dicey. Here we go. This is the back. Yeah, so much mildew. If you enjoyed this type of exploration today, please do make sure you're clicking that like button, being sure to subscribe so you can see future episodes from me of randomly digging through the oldest things that I own or have in my house. And don't forget, if you do want to know immediately when I post a new video, be sure to turn on the bell notification, even though apparently it only works about 2 days later. So there's that. Either way, I hope you all stay beautiful, friends. We'll see y'all next time. Did I set up the other camera? No, of course not. Why would I do that? So today what we're going to, and that is going to be a Weldon's Weldons Ladies Journal. And that's going to be the Weldons Ladies Fashion Journal As a vintage pattern seller, I am very imposter syndrome flaring up good. You were crispy in not a good way. Got some crap in my eye and had to wait to power up my camera. And then I realized I can just plug my camera into a socket. Moving on. And I left my headset from my TikTok on the table, and I really hope you can't see it in the image. There is a Back to the Future reference in here somewhere. I'll find it, I promise.